So you've mentioned that you're a minority owner in the Yankees.
Mhm.
They're in the World Series. So congratulations. I know. I'm sorry.
God.
I know.
You have to realize sports to me is emotional. I love sports. I love the game. To me, baseball is spiritual. You go on the field, there's something very unique about baseball.
Now, I'm guessing that a lot of this contract is behind NDAs and stuff like that. How much can you talk about your ownership of the Yankees? I'm curious to know, what's the ROI?
Very good. Are you kidding me?
Is it?
I made whatever the Forbes return is for sports teams. That's what everybody follows. The number I'm going to say is 14%, right? What gives 14%? Not a lot of stuff gives 14%. Yankees did last year with my equity. Okay.
Now, could that also be because the stock market's gone up?
You're right that the market's gone up, but that's not really the case. It's a non-duplicatable asset. You don't go on the stock market and buy a share of the Yankees today. When that happens and you got the money, go in, because that's the number one organization over any. You don't get into the Yankees, right?
Do you get a cash-on-cash return, or is it that you just lock up your money and eventually...
That's right. Some teams
you can sell it eventually.
Some teams you get dividends. Of course you can sell it. It's, by the way, just think like...
But it's hard because you have to get the buyer to have clearance and...
Yeah, but do you remember when Shamat put the tweet about when he put $25 million in Golden State, what happened 10 years later? Have you ever seen this tweet?
No.
He bought it in 2010 for $25 million. So 25 on 450. Now the team is worth $5.6 billion. So you know that $25 million made him $250 million. Eventually, I'd like to be a majority owner of a team. I love baseball. I don't know if it's going to be the Yankees because I don't think they're going to want to sell. And Yankees is going to be the most expensive one to be a majority owner. I think I would make one. I think I'd make a good owner with our leadership team because we love the game and there's pride behind it. It's not just a business decision. We actually love the game. We'd fly back and forth if it's the Yankees or a team here and we do some creative things. But I no longer have to go to a second background check if I choose to become a majority. If I choose to go from a minority to a majority, I would have to sell 100% of shares that I have of the Yankees, if it's not the Yankees, to be able to get the other team. But now MLB knows who I am. I don't need to go through a background check.
Why don't they go public, or any sports team for that matter?
Yeah.
And then you could trade the teams as you would stocks in terms of like which ones
Well,
are
someone
most
did
bullish.
that. There's somebody that did that you can actually buy shares of a team right now.
They've just started doing it with esports teams, and they're terrible investments because it's they don't make money, but sports teams do.
I can tell you the Yankees investment has grown exponentially.
That's I wouldn't
Yeah.
have guessed that too. That's fascinating.
What's the minimum investment to be able to buy into a sports team like that?
What kind of a team? If you want to go, like let's just say the Memphis Grizzlies, you can probably get in at $5-10 million. If you want to go to Dodgers, Yankees, $40 million cash to go through something like this, because it's Yankees. They don't want a lot of owners.
Yeah.
They don't want 600 names. They want 20 names. They want a few names, and they want to make sure these are certain people that you're looking at that represents the brand. If somebody has the gravitas, all this other, it's Yankees.
On the topic of your own personal investments, you've also mentioned that your net worth is like $500 million. How would you divide that up? Where's the money located? Is it like what percent gold, maybe Bitcoin?
So we just bought an 11-acre building, cash, $25.2 million. On the airport, 2 hangars, brand spanking new. This property was bought in 2018 for $25 million. Guy put $7 million of upgrades. And then he went away. He got in trouble because of a government fraud, something he did, $130 million. And this went into the bankruptcy court. And there was a auction. And in the auction, there was 4,400 people that were interested in the property, 131 that signed the NDA. And then there was the auction on the Zoom. There was like 40 people in the room. And you had to put $1 million to be able to bid. And if you don't complete it, you lose $1 million. And then when you do compete and you're the winning bidder, you have to give them cash within 2 weeks. Within a week, we cut the check. We wired the money over to them, got the keys. We moved in. We're going to build right now, we're building 3 buildings on that land, each 100,000 square feet to house 2,000 employees. I mean, you got to come see what the place looks like. We're going to build one of the biggest holding companies in the world. Right now, our consulting firm is growing exponentially on the amount of clients that we're managing. BetDavid.com, BetDavidConsulting.com. If you go to BetDavid.com, it'll explain our 5x5 rule on the bottom of the website. There's a 22-minute video worth watching. So we're consulting for a lot of different organizations right now, companies from 60 plus countries. So the consulting firm, it's going to be a behemoth because we're not MBA people that got a degree and I'm telling you what to do. Everything we're teaching you or sharing with you, we've done. Raising first round $1 million, then 10 million, then 35 million, selling a business for $250 million, hiring 20, 30 C-suite executives, all the mistakes you make in HR, technology, making the investment in technology to increase the EBITDA from 5x to 15 to 20x. All of these things you're going through, we share that with you. You may come in and say, well, how do you balance that out with creating a marketing brand or podcast or this or that? There's nothing I'm sharing with you that is lip service, tears from a book. So when you come in, we'll literally sit there and say, let me show you our YouTube channel. Here's what we're doing. This is what failed. This is what worked. Here's how much money we're spending with this. This is what we're doing with this. So that's that part. So last time when you and I spoke, when we talked about cash, I said $200 million. You remember? I think this was like, this was the first one you and we did at MGM, right? When how much cash and all this stuff. There's been multiple events since then. And Monect has grown in ways, I don't know if you guys are on Monect or not. Monect has grown exponentially with what we're doing with the app. I have right now 9 unanswered Monects. Yesterday, I did 56 Monects, okay? And I will literally, matter of fact, let's do a Monect right now on video to freak out the attendee, the person. Good evening, Patrick. As I've been resident in San Antonio over the past decade, I've had the opportunity to connect with some very successful individuals, both politically and leaders in business. Can you give me 5 questions that you would ask? I'm going to come to you to give them a question. Key individuals as you were strengthening your business and connections with them. I only have a few moments to visit them. So then, he is paying $240 for this video. Talent's going to make 80%. Monect keeps 20. So 5 questions you would ask these people to build a different relationship. I'm going to go here. Boom. So Justin, you got lucky because right now I'm doing a live podcast. Graham Stephan. Okay, we got our friends here that we're doing a podcast. They're very good interviewers. This is our 3rd time we're doing it with them. 5 questions. Graham, what would you say if you're building a relationship with new business owners? What questions would you ask them if you're trying to network with them?
I always like knowing what your biggest regret is because you could usually think of one really quickly that stands out. And I think that tells you a lot about the person, what they would change, if anything.
There you go. For me, the more you're interested in them instead of trying to be interesting. Sometimes, like I had a guy the other day comes to want a 30-minute meeting with me. 29 minutes he's talking about himself. Walked away. He got nothing. And I don't mind that because I'm interested. So I want to hear you. But if you go to like Sam Walton, I'll give you a story. Many years ago, found out about a market in Brazil, and these guys wanted to come to him to see what he was doing with Walmart. They flew out. He picked them up in a truck. They spent an entire day with them. The entire day when the time was done with these guys, they said, so what'd you learn from Sam Walton? He says, all Sam did for 8 hours is ask us questions. Quite frankly, I know nothing about what they're doing. Be interested, not interesting. In that long ways, you'll not only learn a lot, but they'll like the fact that you're interested in them. Anyways, God bless, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye. So this video is gone. I'll use this video. If he makes it public for other people to see it, I'll give him a 10% discount. Submit it. Gone. $240. Monect. This thing is grown. In our first year when we came out with this app, Monect, we did 28 completed Monects 4 years ago. Second year, we did 255. Third year, we did 2550. This year, we're at 36,000 completed Monects in 2024. And we have a whole engineering team with this that's growing, the downloads, all the stuff that's going on. Monect is going to be a combination of Duolingo, which I'm sure you're familiar with Duolingo, GLG, Cameo, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp. All of those features we're working on right now with the engineers we've hired. So you got the consulting firm, you got Monect, we got VTnews.ai, you got PBD Podcast, and a few other businesses that we're running. All that valuation right now, you can put it between $300 to $400 million, all those businesses.
And where are you investing personally?
In whatever I'm operating. Of course, I have what I've set up for my family, certain funds I'm looking at where I'm not picking stocks. I have a couple million in Bitcoin, not a lot. I have $500,000 to $1 million, I think something like that in Ethereum. Again, not a lot. I have $10 to $15 million in collectible cards. And then I got the money in the Yankees. I owned around $50 million in commercial real estate, $60 million in commercial real estate. Our house has a lot of equity in it. It's a $40 million property. And then I still am one of the biggest shareholders, Class A shares in the insurance company that bought us. I have a lot of shares in that. And in everything that I'm operating. And throughout my career, I've made some good investments that have done pretty well for us.